The following video review is for audiences and individuals aged 13 and up. Viewers will acknowledge that they make purchasing decisions at their own risk.
369, Teela's Fine, referencing rap songs this one time. Greetings, YouTube. Dagaho. Your boy Tony C0451 is here with a review that I've been eager for since this spring. Meet my custom-painted Teela figure from Mattel's recent Masterverse line. Seeing how a beloved 80s cartoon character faced ups and downs and became more powerful and fine afterwards, made me want to buy this figure for myself. I searched at different Targets in the Bay Area for months until she was found for almost $11 instead of $20 during one of Target's sales in late May. Later, hearing about a certain spoiler in Netflix's Masters of the Universe revelation and how she rocked a beloved basketball team's colors afterwards convinced me to do another custom paint job. More on that later. But I hope that I'm representing the Bay Area here. While I do like Teela here, I must admit that I wasn't too attached to her from the start when I first became a Masters of the Universe fan. I first got into the franchise by watching the spin-off series She-Ra Princess of Power. Back then, I didn't see the original He-Man cartoon, and I didn't even know who Teela was until I finally watched clips of the original cartoon in my early 20s. Only then did I start liking Teela, the captain of the guard who had a pretty face and rocked a white leotard swimsuit. Better late than never. Perhaps this was a blessing in disguise. Why? I had no attachments to Teela back then, so I saved myself money when I didn't buy her classics figure in the early 2010s. I'm glad that I bought her Masterverse figure at half off instead, which looks just as good. Alright, I've said enough when I should be focusing on this figure. Viewers, let's get this review crunk. Sort of.
First, we'll see Teela's accessories that I painted ahead of time. A sword and a shield. Standard issue for certain warriors and masters of the universe. Teela's shield was originally just yellow plastic, but I painted light blue and red dots throughout the outer part of the shield for some color variety. Teela's left arm can slide through the shield through the two molded plastic straps until the shield is placed. The open-palmed hand must be attached beforehand so that the left arm can slide through the shield's handles smoothly, I'll add. Unfortunately, I noticed that the shield isn't firmly locked in place, so any sudden movement could cause Teela to lose her shield. Plus, placing her arm through the shield straps could cause the blue paint on her bracer or gauntlet to rub off. That's just for my custom figure though. Next, Teela's sword was more fun to work on. The actual blade was originally painted silver but was later painted light blue instead. I painted the blade because her sword nearly resembled the dragon's toothed sword from the video game Deus Ex. The handle was already painted yellow and brown right out of the box, but a light blue blade was needed to make her sword look identical. Some white was dry brushed onto the blade to simulate a glow effect, but the white now looks splattered on instead. A mistake on my end. Hey, magic and technology are featured prominently in Masters of the Universe, so a nanotech sword that glows blue wouldn't completely be out of place. Teela can hold her sword by shoving or wedging the sword handle into either of her gripping hands. Don't use too much force or else you could break the pegs connecting the hands to the actual figure. Speaking of hands, Teela comes with two extra ones. One is a closed right fist and the other is a left gripping hand in case that you want her left hand to wield her sword instead. The hands can be wedged into the forearms seen here. Don't do that too often or else you'll risk wearing out or breaking the pegs. I'd also suggest placing them back in the box when the other hands aren't in use. I'll show her two separate heads too. One head has her 80s hairstyle and tiara while the other has her hair down. Both heads represent different moments in Teela's character arc, which I won't discuss too much here for the sake of time. I will, however, discuss why I painted both of her heads later in this review. Anyway, Teela's heads can be snapped or wedged into the ball joint seen here. Pulling them out can be troublesome though. I don't need to bench over 275 just to pull Teela's head off, do I? Since I can't lift anywhere near that much due to being a hard gainer, Teela and the rest of Eternia would have no place for me. Now on to Teela Siuter herself, who was one reason why Masters of the Universe fans came to Eternia about 50-11 times. See what I did there? Her figure stands at around 6 3/4 inches tall. She wears an armored white dress that shows a lot of leg and has gold and yellow highlights that make said dress resemble her 80s cartoon design. She wears gauntlets and fur-trimmed boots that I painted blue. Yellow paint was added to the bottom of her boots. From behind, not much is different except that her lovely red hair is flowing down. Plus, well, fans are probably saying, "Let's see Teela get low," in their heads. You scared? I'll now discuss why I customized my Masterverse Teela. Fair warning, for there will be spoilers. In the season finale of Masters of the Universe Revelation, Teela became the new sorceress of Castle Grayskull. She got new magical powers, her long hairdo back, and a fresh new outfit that happened to have Golden State Warriors colors. When I learned that her new Masterverse figure would have her wear her standard military outfit that showed a lot of leg, I also saw an opportunity to paint new colors on her and have my own Sorceress Teela figure. To folks in the Bay Area, hope that this custom job is satisfactory. Anyway, I painted 3 light blue stripes on both of Teela's foreheads to reference the blue glowing marks that appeared whenever she tried using magic and when she was becoming the new sorceress. Because my small brushes still weren't small enough, I had to use the edge of a sheet of cardboard paper to paint her foreheads. I also drew a scratch on Teela's alternate head with a red Sharpie and a black pen because I thought that she looked cuter with some battle damage. Teela's gauntlets were originally white and her boots brown until she became the sorceress. I painted her gauntlets and boots blue to reflect that. Yellow was also painted at the bottom of her boots about an hour later. Glad that the paint didn't feel entirely sticky on flat surfaces while drying. To explain the unpainted brown spots on her ankles, I couldn't paint the figure's actual joints, could I? Too much movement there could cause the paint to rub off if that hasn't happened already. Teela's weapons? Well, I felt that they looked bland out of the box, so I gave them paint jobs to go with her makeover. Oh, I better point out that there is no storage for her weapons, no scabbard or sheath, so I can only put her gear elsewhere in a plastic bag or back in the box. Sigh. Finally, I used a pair of snips or shears to trim and shorten Teela's skirt little by little. Why not have her show off some more leg even though she's the new sorceress? Overall, this ain't a bad job from a college outcast. Time to go over Teela's articulation. Her head's on a ball joint. Her head can turn left and right, look up and down, and turn side to side. There's also an additional ball joint in her neck that lets her look down further. Arms can swivel forward and backward, hinge in and out. Her biceps swivel and her elbows are double jointed. Her upper elbow joints are a lot tighter, I noticed. Might as well not use them at all. Her wrists swivel and hinge, but I don't want to use the hinges too much or else I could break the wrists entirely. Her upper torso's on a diaphragm ball joint, yet she can't turn side to side. Not very well anyway. She has a waist swivel, but that's draped over by her skirt, unfortunately. Masters of the Universe Classics Adora had a similar problem with her waist. Her hips are on ball joints, so she can kick forward and do the splits. She has decent thigh swivels. She has double jointed knees, but her lower knee joints are so tight that I wouldn't want to use them often. Her upper knee joints can be loose sometimes, I'll add. She has calf swivels. I haven't seen those on a figure since Marvel Legends 12-inch Thor. Her ankles hinge forward and backward. They're also on pivots. Of course, I can't use her ankle joints too much or else I could scrape off the blue paint. Due to repairs being done at my place, I couldn't film any size comparisons, so these photos will have to do. Here's Teela standing alongside Masters of the Universe Classics Adora. Adora is slightly taller. A surprise that these two ladies didn't really cross paths, despite that they're both in the Masters of the Universe franchise, if I recall. Here's Teela standing with The Rock's figure from Mattel's WWE Elite line. And just because, here's Teela standing with McFarlane Toys' Shao Kahn.
We've admired Teela long enough, so we'll go over the pros and cons to finish up. Teela once again looks fine and almost resembles her 80s design despite not wearing her skin-tight white leotard. If you're a Masters of the Universe fan who likes her classic look, this figure's a solid pick. Her 30 points of articulation allow great posability. A shame that said articulation is her biggest weakness because she has tight and loose joints like many figures. Her accessories are basic out of the box, but they'll look better after some paint. If Bay Area peeps are watching, painting her outfit and gear in Golden State Warriors colors is a bonus if one has steady hands, some paint, and the right brushes. Of course, viewers must remember that they customize her at their own risk. This has been my review of my custom Masterverse Teela. I'm Tony C0451, also known as Tony Creator on DeviantArt. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe and all that. And also feel free to visit my DeviantArt page. Link in the description as usual. Thanks again for watching. 多谢收睇。